There was a time when the future arrived with a sonic boom. In an age when humanity was obsessed with speed, racing to the moon, pushing the limits of science, redefining what was possible, one aircraft stood above them all, sleek, white, needle-nosed, almost unreal. It was called Concorde, and for nearly 3 decades, it did something no other passenger aircraft could do. It outran the sun. Before we dive into this extraordinary story, make sure you resubscribed for more incredible untold journeys through history, because some dreams deserve to be remembered. The Concorde was born from ambition and rivalry. In the 1960s, at the height of the Cold War, speed symbolized power. The United States and the Soviet Union were racing through space. Europe, determined not to be left behind, wanted its own technological masterpiece. So 2 nations joined forces: United Kingdom and France. Their collaboration was unprecedented. Engineers, scientists, and visionaries worked side by side across borders, united by a single goal: to build the world's first supersonic passenger airliner. In 1969, the Concorde took to the skies for the first time. It didn't just fly, it pierced the air, capable of reaching Mach 2, more than twice the speed of sound. The Concorde could travel from New York City to London in under 3.5 hours. A journey that normally took 7 hours was suddenly cut in half. Passengers would take off in the morning and arrive before they had even left, thanks to time zones. It felt like time travel, but speed came at a cost. The Concorde's engines roared with unmatched power. As it accelerated past the sound barrier, it created a thunderous sonic boom, a shockwave so intense that it rattled windows on the ground. Because of this, supersonic flight over land was banned in many countries. The Concorde was largely restricted to transatlantic routes, flying over oceans where its boom would disturb no one. Inside, however, it was pure elegance. Though smaller than most commercial jets, the Concorde offered exclusivity. Only about 100 passengers could board at a time. Tickets were expensive, extremely expensive. Flying Concorde became a symbol of status. Celebrities, world leaders, and business magnates stepped aboard its narrow cabin, sipping champagne at 60,000 feet, twice as high as typical airliners. At that altitude, the sky above wasn't light blue. It was dark, almost black. The curve of the Earth became visible. Passengers weren't just traveling, they were touching the edge of space. But beneath the glamour, the economics were brutal. Fuel consumption was enormous. Maintenance costs were staggering, and only a small number of aircraft were ever built, just 20 in total. Of those, only 14 entered commercial service. It was a marvel of engineering, but not a financial success. Then came July 25, 2000. Air France Flight 4590 departed from Paris, bound for New York. Moments after takeoff, tragedy struck. A piece of metal debris on the runway punctured a tire. Fragments tore into the fuel tank. Flames erupted. The Concorde crashed into a hotel in Gonesse. All 109 people on board and 4 on the ground lost their lives. It was the only fatal accident in Concorde's entire operational history, but the impact was devastating. Confidence shattered. The fleet was grounded. Although modifications were made and flights eventually resumed, the world had changed. The attacks of September 11, 2001 reshaped aviation. Passenger numbers fell. Costs soared. The Concorde, already fragile economically, struggled to justify its existence. In 2003, after 27 years of commercial service, the final flights took place. Crowds gathered at airports to watch the last landings. Some wept, some applauded. Many simply stared in awe as the slender white aircraft touched down for the final time. One of the last Concordes was retired to Intrepid Sea Air and Space Museum, where it now rests silently, no longer breaking sound barriers, but still capturing imaginations. So why does the Concorde still matter? Because it represented something rare. It was not built for efficiency. It was not built for profit. It was built because humanity wanted to go faster, higher, beyond limits. It was an era when engineers believed speed itself was progress, when crossing the Atlantic in 3 hours wasn't a luxury, it was a statement. Today, as new companies once again explore supersonic travel, the Concorde's legacy echoes through time. Its shape remains iconic. Its story unforgettable. It proved that ordinary passengers could fly at twice the speed of sound. It proved international cooperation could create something extraordinary. And it proved that sometimes, even if a dream is not sustainable forever, it can still change the world. The Concorde didn't fail, it completed its mission. For nearly 3 decades, it showed us a future that felt like science fiction and made it real. And perhaps one day, when another supersonic jet slices across the sky, we will remember the aircraft that did it first, the one that outran the sun. If this story inspired you, stay with us, because history is filled with dreams that dared to fly, and we're just getting started.